Welcome back, everybody, to Rimworld. Today, we have a new colony on the zombie planet with the meteor, with all that great stuff that we had last time, but with some balancing. So, before we quickly dive into things, I did leave a comment sort of explaining why things were so difficult unexpectedly last time. Turns out that when we start in the abandoned city start, regardless of what we actually claim, we get a ridiculous amount of wealth thrown onto our colony. Now, the way raids work is they get assigned a certain amount of points. I won't go into the technicals of it, but basically, we were getting raids intended for a base that had all of the wealth of the entire city. So the game thought we were a lot more powerful than we actually were, assumed that we'd built all of that extra stuff, when in fact, of course, we actually hadn't. So the raids were being sent more frequently and obviously a lot more powerful. To make up for that, I've installed a new mod that makes it so that rather than wealth, and this was linked over to me on Discord, but I actually got it, I found it on the workshop as well. I'll make sure that is linked in the description too. But it is a mod that changes it so that wealth is not important. It's in fact the amount of time your colony has been established. So rather than say every 50,000 gold, you know, the game increments it to make it slightly harder, it's instead going to be every sort of few days or every something like that. But basically time is the big factor here. The longer a colony exists for, the harder the raid should be, and that's the way I think it should be anyway. Just makes a lot more sense. I guess, granted, you could scum things up, you know, raid a caravan or whatever, become a lot more powerful, but then the game should be able to compensate. Anyway, it doesn't matter too much. Point is, it should be balanced now for this start. We shouldn't have any more scenarios whereby we get completely wiped out because the game thinks we're more powerful than we actually are. Let me introduce you to our new cast of characters. So yesterday, I randomed out Hess. I've adjusted him somewhat here to fit into the scenario. I said to you guys, what other character do you want to see in the colony? And there were a lot of comments that asked for Rick, the abducted man, who's been in most of our starts actually on here, to return once again. So to start off with, we have Van Hess, our slightly random character here, who is a dentist gone rogue. Dentist slash cook, which might have some weird implications there. Good at cooking, good at social. He's going to be our colony leader. He's going to be the guy getting other people on board. Butcher, adrenaline junkie, and gourmet there, which again might have some weird connotations for a dentist to be so good at cooking. What is he cooking, you ask? Whatever the hell we can find out here, to be honest with you. We have returning, and this is kind of ridiculous, I will admit, so I have got the difficulty set to medium off the get-go here. We have got Mecha Rick Crimes. Having gone through unspeakably terrible experiments and just awful things at the hands of his captors, Rick has been released into the wasteland as an avenger. He turned against his creators and returned to try and see what happened to his colony, which was, of course, destroyed by the time he returned back to base. So now he's dedicated his life to making sure that no one else throughout the wasteland is kidnapped, to making sure the zombie menace is stopped, and to making sure people are kept alive and safe from raiders and other such threats. Mecha Rick Crimes, 35, as a biological age, of course, but chronological age 54, because I guess he would be kicking on now a bit. He's been in all of our series, so he's probably getting a bit older in terms of actual time, but he is mostly robot, so his biological age is lower there, or at least that's my very sudden headcanon. Great shooting stat, great melee, because he is an unstoppable beast of a man. I mean, look at him now. Construction is obviously going to be very high, and mining very high as well, because he has the strength of an ox, except in the form of a man, question mark. Okay at crafting as well, because of course he can carry, you know, big amounts of resource to various areas and probably help out a little bit with that. Unstoppable and bloodlust, but he is a kind man, he is a just man, he doesn't just kill anyone, he only attacks those who he thinks are deserved, like raiders, pirates, whatever else. He is mostly bionical. I kind of wanted to make a fully bionic man, but I thought that'd be very, very OP for the start of the campaign here. He's probably already a little OP, to be honest with you, but it fits his backstory. Bionic hand, you know, bionic jaw, bionic leg, bionic spine. The only thing that's really going to affect his how good he is for the colony is honestly the spine and the legs. That's going to affect his movement. Hand, to some extent, will affect, you know, manipulation, crafting, but this guy is already good enough anyway, you know, his construction isn't going to get much of a bonus from that. And then we have, finally, Helen Walter. Helene? I'm just gonna take the E off there, because Helen Walter is a bit easier for my simple English mind to pronounce. So we have a feline scientist turned wasteland doctor out of... She had to put her skills truly to the test. There weren't many cats to save out here. There's not much call for a vet in an apocalypse, but there is call for a human vet, in brackets, a doctor. She's going to be our intellect. She's going to be our medical. We're going to keep her safe and contained to a nice little lab, not have her on the front lines. I feel like that's a big problem with last time, is Rex was not only our strongest fighter, but was also our researcher and our doctor, and the last thing you want is your researcher and your doctor on the front lines with your troops. So we split them into two separate characters this time. Of course, Hess being our sort of colony leader. We've got Mecha Rick, our soldier, and then we've got Walter, the scientist, being the, well, scientist-style character. Knows a little bit about plants, knows a little bit about animals, because, you know, she's a doctor. In terms of equipment, I've picked them weapons, I think, suitable for their position, plus things that would give them little bonuses to their work as well, as sidearms. arms here. Again, this loadout might be a little bit strong, but people are saying, hey, stop making loadouts so difficult. That's why you're losing so often. So we've got minigun for, obviously, mecha Rick crimes. I couldn't think of a more appropriate weapon. Not going to be super effective against zombies, mind you, because it's obviously horribly inaccurate. Like, any other gun, I think, in a zombie apocalypse scenario would be a bit more useful. Assault rifle for our guy. What's his name again? I can never remember. Hess. For our guy Hess, we've got an assault rifle and finally an SMG for our doctor there. Scalpel, obviously for the doctor. Cleaver for Hess, the dentist turned butcher. And then a hammer for our boy Mecharic too, I think is very appropriate there. I kind of like this loadout. I kind of like this starting thing. Question is our city any good to go along with it? Alright, here we are. Hess, Mecharic, and Walter. Let's zoom out. What are we looking at? Okay, so this map is a bit more similar, I would say, to the last long-term colony we had. We've got a couple of people here, a couple of maybe raiders, survivors, whatever you want to look at them as. Somebody who is a relatively innocent person. They haven't done anything wrong. We've got a dead person there. I'm just sort of taking a quick scout around before we really get into things here. Obviously, all of our equipment spawn near us, which is quite nice. Ooh, look at this room. We've got mega screen television, modern computer. We've got plate armor, more importantly, which could definitely help out. We've got grenades there, lead next to it, a dead body. It's me looking for, like, backpacks and stuff, but of course, that's combat extended. Yeah, okay, the question is then, where the hell are we going to put down a base? Because this is not as obvious as the last one. I'm honestly seeing this area to start with, actually, where we spawn is already naturally defendable. I think this could be a very, very nice start here. We've got a building with, you know, various sorts of... Actually, this is quite a nice natural area, isn't it? If we claim all of this round up here, bring this together, maybe fortify this building, we've got ourselves a very nice starting point. Wooden walls, those are the bane of our life right now, so we need to be very careful with those. Okay, there's nowhere immediately that's screaming to me, hey, this should be your base. We've got a medical lab over here, so we need to go and check that out. We've got another enemy there as well. Ark, who has, what is that you've got equipped there? Is that a shield generator plus, like, a sword and a hazmat mask? That's kind of cool. Okay. I am thinking we need to stick closer to the sea just because it's a lot easier to defend from there. Zombies are going to be much more limited coming from this top area of the map because there's only two very small areas they can actually spawn in. Yeah, this is a very difficult start to decide where we actually want to set the base. I'm thinking we just try and grab this middle area. Or everything within there, I think we should try and turn into the base. Get these walls set up quite nicely. In fact, we can capture these outside buildings. Maybe dismantle some walls, build some new steel walls out of that instead. Try and get this place on lockdown. This could be a pretty good start. A fairly decent-sized farm we could build here if we rip up a lot of this wood as well. It's not going to be fantastic. I imagine a lot of this is just structural, isn't it? Yeah, this is a lot of bridges. So we'd have to rip almost all of this up to be able to build a decent-sized base. Mecharic. Grab your minigun and then grab your hammer as well. Let's get Walter equipped with the SMG and the scalpel. And then finally Hess with the assault rifle and the plasteel cleaver. Did I say to... Whoops, sorry, let me just reset that one. So we want to go SMG and then that one as a sidearm. Alright, that should be kind of okay, I think, to start off with here. Right, my god, what the hell am I going to do? Mecharic, excuse me. Oh, right, okay, yeah, I forgot to equip that as a sidearm again, that's alright. Hess, go grab yourself. Okay, so he's ready to go. Walter's ready to go. Mecharic, you are going to be the backbone of this colony, so I might even send Mecharic to go out and hunt down those random people that we saw, just to start off with here, so that we're not at any sort of threat. The other two... I think they just need to immediately start work on fortifying this base as much as possible. The zombies are on a 1-day delay, so we haven't got as long this time because it is technically slightly easier. Especially with Mecharic as well, I wanted that to be reflected in the difficulty. So I'm thinking we immediately remove this building, start building steel walls everywhere. We could put a block there and then dismantle this door, put another block there. This building should be very easy to get in, and same with this one. These are fine to just incorporate straight into the base. In fact, we could build all of this into just one big building as well if we felt like it. This is risky for obvious reasons. You know, it's almost entirely wood, which means versus electric zombies we could really struggle, plus fortifying that much as well, it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass, but I've got to remove it. You know, we've got to get rid of those wooden walls as quickly as we can here. So let's start work on the jobs a little bit then. So we go firefighter, let's max that one out to start off with. Thank you very much. Firefighter, patient, doctor is kind of irrelevant. I'll say we'll keep Hess on as a backup doctor and a backup surgeon in case of, you know, real emergencies. Bed rest I will also max out. We'll go Hall and Basic 2. Finish, I guess, 2. And then everything else can be blanked out for the time being as far as I'm concerned. Besides the super, super important stuff. You know, while we're waiting for these zombies to turn up, while we're still fortifying the base during this early game, let's keep our focus very, very low. So let's go for construction. That's obviously going to be very, very useful. Seeing as the other two are shit at constructing, I'm thinking we go with a much higher delivery level. Deconstruct should also be kind of high priority there. Don't worry about these for the time being either. Yeah, actually, all of this is irrelevant, isn't it? Maybe plant cut to some extent, but we'll see as we go. I'm just going to have them do nothing but work for this first day. So we've got a very, very, very basic schedule focusing on only building the base, and then we've also got this very, very strict schedule going on here. Okay, so how the hell are we going to start this then? There's no point claiming anything. Hopefully, so I think if I look at the history log now, yeah, so you can see that we've already started with a wealth total of, what is that, 252,000? That's huge. What was the wealth total of the gear we've got? Would not be that high. So we started with a ridiculously high wealth, which means without that other mod that should, in theory, slow down the raids, we would be already in quite a difficult scenario here. So that's kind of nice. Right, so let's get to work fortifying. I guess we can start deconstructing things off the bat. So we'll put down a central stockpile. That couldn't hurt. In fact, let's get these guys to just come and explore a couple of these buildings. Let's send you into there. Let's send you into there. Hess, you go and look through this one here and go and make sure that we aren't sort of at any risk from that one. So this is just a bed in a room. I'm going to deconstruct all of this building. If we have to build steel walls, we have to build steel walls. It's not really that big a deal. This building's also sort of naturally cut off, so we might not have to do too much to affect this one. Let's go and check in there as well. Now, there was an enemy kicking around. Yeah, we've got Katia. She's got a shotgun. Mecharic is, of course, mostly mechanical and has a giant gun. As far as I'm concerned, is this steel? Oh, this is all steel as well. Interesting. I think Mecharic should be able to deal with this, no problem. We've got that minigun. Get to work. Now, we've got run and gun, which means, you know, of course, we can run and gun, but certain weapons are disabling that. I've manually gone through and removed the much more complex weaponry so that we didn't have to worry about that. So things like miniguns we can't run and gun with for hopefully obvious reasons. Good luck. You know what? Maybe the minigun was a poor shout. Maybe the minigun was a bad idea in hindsight, but if anyone can use it effectively, it's our boy Mecharic. Don't die in your first... If you die in the first battle, I'm going to be so annoyed. Is there any cover nearby? Not really. How are you doing? He's just taking a little bit of a bruise. It's not anything to worry about. Obviously, the pain knocking him down would really suck there. Okay, come on. Come on, Mecharic. I believe in you. Just get another big shot. That's big. Oh, how are you this bad at shooting? My God. Right, we're fine. How is his health looking? Just a bunch of bruises. Not a problem. A whole bunch of bruises is not a concern at all. We've got combat optimization implant here. So that, I believe, is part of the cybernetics mod. We would actually need a cybernet sort of basis to use that, which might give us more of a reason to go for that endgame. I don't know if it's that good. I just sort of put it in there for lore reasons, to be honest with you. I kind of know what it does, but again, it's not doing anything to help the colony immediately here. Right, let's go and check this building out and just make sure we've got everything scouted here. So we've got some hyperweave, we've got some, we've got a toque plate armor, mop suit. Okay, interesting. We might want to go ahead and give someone that steel plate armor. I imagine against the zombie, a plate armor is exactly what you want, right? That seems to be like the ultimate defense against the zombie apocalypse. Okay, everyone get back into the sort of main area then. That's the sort of immediate threat dealt with anyway. Let's get everyone drafted. Right, so we're looking at probably dismantling this building, maybe even taking off the back of this building and just turning this into a sort of jutting out wall. Yeah, let me get something planned out here. Right, so that should be the roofs gone off of everything. And then what we'll do is we will just use this steel immediately to start building walls because we've got a little bit of steel deposit there. Honestly, steel isn't as high priority as I have been making it out to be. We've got... yesterday, or last series, I should say, or not even last series, but last run, we very rarely struggled for steel. We really had no problems with that at all. So I'm thinking we do something like this and remove all these external doors as well. That's obviously going to be very high priority here. Do something along those lines. That keeps us quite nicely trapped in. Can we replace the doors? That's the question here. I think we need to claim it all first. You know what? I'm going to claim it all because apparently it's not going to make any goddamn difference to the wealth of the colony anyway. So let's go ahead and just grab all of this stuff. There we go. And let's grab everything sort of adjacent to it as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and claim this building. I feel like this building is a horrible, horrible investment because, of course, it is mostly wood there, and that's the last thing we want to be grabbing right now. That should allow us, I believe, to just directly replace... no, still not. Okay, that's very annoying. So we're going to have to manually rip out a lot of these doors, too. So any facing the outside wall, we'll replace it with just a straight-up steel wall. We also need to get one down here as well, okay? And then focus on replacing this building with basically whatever building blocks we get. Be it stone or steel, really doesn't matter as long as we've gotten rid of the wood. Mecharic. Oh, he's going to be tended. You know what? That's actually fair. I think you're fine just to get it tended for temporarily. And then let's go and drop this back down again so that you go straight back to work. Thank you, Mecharic. But this is the best thing about having a couple of people on delivery. All of these things are ready to be built now. We're just waiting for Mecharic to... What I should really do is drop down, I guess, deconstruct in favor of constructing things first, because I'd rather get the base, you know, safely defended rather than worry about ripping out some stone walls that aren't really causing us any issues right now. It'd be nice to get the resources, but I think defenses are a much bigger priority here. Thank you. Right, and if we also get him to swap over to his hammer too, it should make him build just a slight bit faster. Are these two just going to sleep wherever the hell they can find? I think that's fair. Ideally, we want him to sleep somewhere where there's like a dresser or something along those lines. Can't see anything. Oh, there's a lot in this room. Okay, shit. Well, let's move him into here then. Let's go just very temporarily. We'll put a sleeping spot down there and there. I don't know if they'll be affected by the furniture, but I guess it couldn't. It's also fairly safe up there as well. Right, let's get you two to quickly draft and undraft, and then they should head into that building. That way, you can also keep a much better eye on everyone. So that should be the perimeter dealt with then, as far as I can tell. We've got a little bit of a hole in the wall there as well, but that should be fairly obvious. So what we really want to do, is, seeing as we've got another 22 hours and the perimeter is mostly dealt with, I'd love to replace all these wooden walls. Not super high priority. The only reason we want to replace that is if we get any of the electric zombies turning up. I mean, there's a good chance we'll get some turning up in the first wave of zombies. At the request of everyone as well, I've disabled the suicide zombie and replaced it with tank zombies instead. I actually personally prefer the idea of the suicide zombies. You see them coming, you can take them out from quite far away. They're very vulnerable. You know, you one shot and they blow up quite spectacularly. The tank zombies take a long time to beat down by comparison. Could be a lot more dangerous, especially in melee range. So, I don't know. Personally, I do like the idea of the suicide zombies hitting the wall, blowing up, having to deal with a big old horde invasion, rather than the tank zombies sort of slow, methodical, chipping away at the walls. Because I don't know if you notice, there's nothing about me that is slow or methodical. So, the suicide zombies are a bit more my speed. Let's put it this way. Just throwing shit and hoping some of it sticks. Right, what are we looking at in regards to the basin? So, where's Mecharic right now? I believe after we build this wall, after these two have finished, we can still get in through that door. Well, thank you. This is what I was just about to check. Are we then completely trapped in is the question. So let's go ahead and finish off that one. All right, and then after that, I believe the base is secured, but I will just double check. So can you now get out? No, we can't. That's fantastic. Okay, so we've already got a base secured. This is quite a nice area too. It's nowhere near as big as our previous bases, and to be honest, if we have the resources for it, I'd love to expand. So it's almost a square shape. You know, I'd love to expand like that. So build up to the mountain here and then build across as well. Not only to give it, you know, like a little bit more compacted machinery, gives us a lot of land to work with just in general. You know, rip all of this stuff, replace it with farms. Maybe pump some of this ground, turn that into farms too. Gives us a lot of, you know, brick in terms of the road, but it's not a huge urgency right now, I will admit. So, in terms of a main entrance, I feel like a main entrance could be something that's super, super useful. Question is, how are we going to balance it? Or more importantly, how are we going to make it zombie-proof, I guess, is the better way to phrase it. What I'm thinking is this whole building, I think we pull the roof off of it. I think we turn this into one big building. We rip the roof off of this one and dismantle all of the walls within. Then use those bricks to build this up and then manually build any spare buildings like prisons or anything like that that we might need. So basically deconstruct this whole thing. Leave the frame, specifically the outside walls, and everything else I'm not too bothered about. So let's go ahead and remove roof area over essentially all of this as well. So that should give you a general idea of the size of the farmland we've got to work with. Again, it's very much overkill. I might even not want to use, you know, this building here or any on the outside walls, to be honest, and focus on building up this building instead, but we'll cross that as we get there. The batteries are very, very nice. I didn't even think about those. Okay, I might also want to very quickly send people out into the world to go and explore, see what else we can find very briefly. Things like the telescopes, things like additional batteries, any sort of, is there a J billiards table? I know people were very upset last time when I didn't get that. This is my goal for this series, Jade Billiards Table. When we've done that, we can officially class this series as a success. Until then, we've just got to keep trying to let on. I just want to check out this hospital. So I'll send the other two, I guess, out just exploring for the time being, because all they're doing is, you know, deconstructing, sort of helping with the base stuff. So let's get that gone. Maybe we should start reinstalling things like this furniture. That could be a good plan. What is that affected by? What is reinstalling? I have no idea what job denotes that. So let's claim this stuff. Let's claim this stuff and just get it all reinstalled into... I guess we use this one as our central building, right? So we'll put... we could always just use this as a freezer, seeing it's more or less naturally already set up for that. Okay. I'm going to say, let's just get stuff installed in here for the time being. You know, it's simple, it's very straightforward. I'm not going to plan out the base right now when we don't really know what furniture we're working with or anything like that either. Alright, let's get all of this stuff moved more or less urgently. The camera panning is kind of driving me a bit mad, I will admit. Okay, limestone stool, again, doesn't really matter. Just stick it anywhere. Just go and grab all of this stuff for future reference. That could be our Our recreation room doesn't matter. Right, so that will do that. That's quite nice. And any furniture we reclaim and obviously we don't want to use, we can just disassemble, because a lot of it is steel. Like, a lot of this stuff that we've seen is steel. Bunch of steel dining chairs there. Okay. I think we might also... Oh, it's Game of Earth, shit. And there's a steel dresser. Dressers are useful. Oh, the telescope we've got to grab, because that's like a recreation type. That's a unique recreation type. So I think we'll chuck that just anywhere outdoors would be kind of nice as well. I think the map itself is relatively safe until the zombies turn up. So we can... Well, I'm kind of happy just to let these guys go out there and see what we can get reinstalled. And we'll sort of manually control Mecharic instead. So, Hess, I'm going to get you... Let's go and check out this building here. Walter, let's get you to just quickly go and check out something like this. Just go and see what other things we can dig up very quickly. Doesn't seem to be much else on the map. Lots of Game of Earth, which we're not really super interested in, I'll be honest with you. Oh, trade beacons. Yeah, let's get one of those, definitely. Okay, give me that. Let's put that in there, too. Thank you very much. That's very, very good. That's a nice find. It might not seem like much, but obviously, if we could find a research bench, that would be the big one. That's what we got. What the fuck? Artificial clavicle. I don't think that's going to be super necessary. The research bench we found last playthrough was the biggest reason why that one was such a kick in the teeth, because that would have saved so much time on our actual, obviously, research side of things. Okay, there are some components there if we need it. Come on, there's got to be another research table somewhere. I believe. You go back to your work. You go back to work. I should really not leave them drafted if we're not controlling them. Okay, lots of medicine, lots of vitals monitors. I'm liking the look of that. Oh, absolutely. Come on, just pick up that medicine. Just pick that up and carry on your adventures. That's going to potentially save our life at some stage, so I'm really glad that we found that one. Vitals monitors, useful only if we get a hospital bed. We've never actually got to the stage where we've ever got hospital beds, so I'm not going to prioritize that. We'll wait until we've actually got to that level of the research before we, Is that... Whoa, that's pretty big. That's actually really big. Okay then, fine. What have we got in here? Just a bit. Can we pick that up as well? Nice work. Okay, I'm really glad we did this little extra scouting then. What have we got in here? Might be worth maybe not putting all our eggs in the Mecharic basket. Might be worth even giving that to Hess or something. Or even, I mean, maybe Walter. She's going to be shit. She's going to be sitting around a lot on her spare time. I wanted to push it as far as I can. I did kind of go a little bit too far then. Who's got the highest social? I believe it's you, isn't it? So let's get you to Warden. And entertain, and let's get you over here. Karma. We've got 2 hours until the zombies come. The worst case scenario we could have now is her being completely devoured because she had a mental breakdown. Come on. We found some great stuff with her, so I'm really glad we did it still. Failed to calm her down. Oh, God. Okay. She's in a safe place, relatively. So it's not too bad. Oh, that's not good to start off with her. Group of zombies, other side of the map. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. We got quite a low zombie limit, so that might just push it up. Come on, Walter. Come on, Walter. You can do it. Now, let's keep a very close eye out for these zombies. Get this stuff reinstalled. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's super useful. Mecharic, what are you doing right now? The base is looking very, very nice. She's good. Okay. Let's get you back to base then, because this is getting very, very risky now that there are a lot of zombies very suddenly. My God. Ark's still kicking around, the sort of crazy person with that. Is that 2 tank zombies straight off the bat? Holy shit. Wow, okay. Right, okay. We need to seal up the base then. We need to seal up the base. Walter, let's get you home. Let's get you home, Walter. Mecharic, if you could immediately build us a steel wall, that would be fantastic. Thank you. Get to work on that as soon as possible. Walter's collapsed. She's in the base, so it doesn't matter. Go. Right, where's Hess before I seal this up? Yeah, we are fine. All right, then. How much work is he put into removing the roof off that building? Because this building needs to go urgently, because the fire is already starting to spread from some of these electric zombies. We haven't done a fantastically good job with that, I will admit. What have we got a lot of? We haven't even got a lot of steel, to be honest with you. With that, we can barely even build a single wall. Well, obviously we can build, but I mean, we can't finish off a single, like, side of the wall. Okay, right. This is bad, I'm not gonna lie. This is not the most ideal start. So let's focus on the important Rimworld stuff, okay? Bedrooms. Bedrooms would be fantastic. So right now, we'll just build a barrack. We'll worry about actual bedrooms later on, as far as I'm concerned. So we've got a dresser and an end table in this room. So this is just going to be a bedroom. Let's do that. Then we can put a bed on either side. Let's get this wall gone as well. We want to make it as large as possible. Let's open this one up completely. Let's make it so they've actually got some sort of movement capabilities going on here. There we go. Everyone's happy. Everything is fine. There's nothing wrong with the colony at all. I am very genuinely worried about these walls just completely burning down very, very quickly. We could remove all of these steel stools. And actually, if we dig up the tiles as well, that might give us enough steel just to very quickly steel up this outside wall. We don't need much. We don't even need much steel. That's the worst part. How much is it roughly? I mean, not even. I think about 400 steel should do it. So we've got 160 on that side. We're looking at another 120 on that side. Yeah, it's almost 400 steel there. Okay. Right. Fine. Okay, then. So what I'm thinking for the time being is let's focus on... Let's prioritize, manually prioritize getting much more steel into the base. Let's rip up these floors as well. Do whatever we've got to do here just to quickly stop the fire spreading. Once that's done, then we can focus on the more basic stuff like food, planting, farms, whatever else. We should have plenty of meals in storage for the time being. We really don't. Oh, shit. We've got alpaca, though. We've managed to trap some alpaca in here with us, which, in fact, will need hunting kind of urgently. Otherwise, they are going to break down the walls to try and get out for food. So let's set that as kind of high priority here. Are there any other animals that could potentially break out looking for food? There is a squirrel there, which will need to die. Sorry, Mr. Squirrel. I don't want the squirrels letting in a zombie apocalypse. Let's go ahead and set that to ignore roof area again. And then let's focus on digging up these floors. Can't believe this. The first thing we're doing is just ripping apart all these nice buildings we found. This is working super well. Look at this. We've got one guy delivering all the stuff as the other guy deconstructs. Sorry, Mecharic. I know you want to sleep, but we have to get this dealt with as soon as possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Force work on that as well. Let's make sure all of this is being replaced. He's actually got off to a really good start to say that the flame is coming from this direction. So to deal with these two walls first should be our top priority there. My god, this guy's going to go absolutely nuts if we're not careful. We also need water too. Oh god. Okay, okay, let's think. So we've technically got water. They can drink from rivers. You can't drink from the sea, but you can drink from any moving water, which, in this case, if we quickly go to hygiene, should be... Oh, wait, that's not a river? Oh, shit, okay. Well, I thought that was... Is that not moving water? Maybe I need to view it with sewage instead. Normally there are arrows going across it, but maybe I am going mad. They should still be able to use it as fresh water, as far as I know. Because let's check, I guess. We go to their needs. Thirst? Thirst is at medium. She's getting water from somewhere. Let's put it that way. I think I get the weird suspicion. This one might be around for a while. Is that 4 tank zombies? My god. Okay. Might need to assess the spawn rate on that. I thought I set it to like 3%, but we might need to double check that one in a minute. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to come up with a name for this colony, which I guarantee you is going to be around to stay this time. No more restarting. This is it. This is the perfect colony right here. The Northern Hinaborin. We'll just call it whatever it's defaulted to, and then tomorrow we can actually rename it. I've got a mod that lets us just quickly rename it whenever we want, so we'll get that dealt with at some stage. How are we looking at in terms of defenses then? We've got to replace a lot of these walls, huh? There's a lot of steel already placed there. It just requires Mecharic to actually go over there and rebuild the damn things. Bedrooms and food and all sorts can come after the fact. We need to just deal with this. Power as well, but definitely don't forget about the power. Right, okay, how are we looking then? We might have to tear down this whole building yet. We might be okay. Come on. Is that going to be enough? Now, the only other thing to concern ourselves with urgently are the tank zombies. Besides that, we should now be completely safe, right? That's good. That's good. So all of our external walls are stone or steel. Yeah, I think we're safe. I very much doubt that the electric zombie art can make it through buildings. I don't think it'll be able to blitz through into here and light fire to the whole thing. But that is very, very nice to see. Alright then, how do we want to rearrange this area? Because right now, it's a complete state. Freezer being in the middle base, certainly not a problem, I'll be honest with you. Let's get a lot of these sort of spare random blocks of wood, sort of, and sandbags and whatever else. Let's remove this and make it a bit more uniform to start off with. Let's get rid of all these sandbags too. What do we want to do with these rooms? That's a question. We need bedrooms. Bedrooms should come first. So... we haven't really got that much room this time. We certainly don't have the luxury of room that we had in the last base or in the base before that, to be fair. This is probably our smallest base that we've managed to claim yet, only because the natural geography just wasn't ready in our favor. Oh, shit, that's a lot. Wow. That's going to be a difficult horde to deal with should they get close enough. We might have to send Mecharic out with his machine gun just into the street to gun them down or even try and lure them away somewhat. Did we manage to reinstall all the stuff, though? We got the telescope, we got the dining room table, we got the Game of we got the... That's good. In terms of the stuff we managed to claim here, this is very, very nice. So let's tidy up these rooms a little bit. So this can be sort of recreation, just a generic large room that we'll use for the time being. We can tear down all these walls as well, because they're not really doing much for us. Make sure we've got that one on there. Let's turn them into full-blown rooms as well. Right now, it's just kind of big old gaping holes in the walls, things like that. But we can use that as a way out. What resource have we got a lot of is probably my next question. We've got a shit ton of wood. Fortunately, some of it did spawn on the outside there. That's just Rimworld. There's not a lot we can do about that. So let's get some wooden doors down. Now, I'd love to turn this into 3 separate bedrooms rather than having one big barrack, because obviously people don't generally like that. And obviously beds too would be fantastic. So let's see what we've got to work with here. So we go like that, and then also get, I guess, wooden beds. We've got plenty of wooden walls we can rip apart, you know, tear up the floors, tear up the walls in this building too. Rebuild it as we see fit, because right now it's kind of a bit of a state, and I'm kind of half repurposing it. We've got plenty of limestone bricks too, by the looks of things. 78, so we could potentially just carry on with the whole limestone bedroom. Gonna be very small. We'll give them all a separate bathroom later, or we'll just give them a shared bathroom for now and worry about that in the future. So 2 blocks, then a door, and then 2 blocks, then a door. But I haven't taken into account the wall there, genius. Okay, so that's how long is a room? 5 blocks, right? Okay, so do that, and then 5, and then do that. Right, there we go. So let's remove that one. That's fine by me. That looks pretty good. We'll get things reinstalled and we'll sort things out as we go here. It's going to be a case of whatever we've got to build things with. I'm trying to build things and keep things uniform. I think it's kind of a waste of time. We'll have to see what blocks we've actually got left to work with. The amount of times I've tried to explain this and the recording's messed up. Oh my god, please save me. We can't cook at the fire. That's all you need to know. I don't know why. I don't know what the hell's causing it. We cannot. We can only refuel, despite the fact if I click the information on the fire, which is not that button. We need to click the information on the fire here. The first line says cooks meals. However, we can only refuel it. Yes, he is set to cook as well. Yes, there is stuff for him to cook right there. It just allows us to prioritize refueling. I have ordered up meals as well, as you quite clearly see. Cook simple meal forever. I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't work out why, but the issue is it's a massive pain in the ass because we've got this coming towards the base very, very quickly, and we've got to deal with we've got to deal with that without obviously going on mental break risk or anything like that, because otherwise if we have a sad wander right into the zombie horde, that's it. It might as well be a game over at that stage. So I'm going to try and work out what's wrong before tomorrow. In the meantime, let's not worry about anything else, because we have the insane top tier level patrons to thank. A big and just and nice and good thank you to Aiden W, Alpha Scuff, Anthony Gawley, Asuna Kirito, Atmosis, Average Gamer 419, Bacon Kitten, Sidini, Crazy Pat, Croesus, Donald, Emerald Beam, Facundo Vasquez, Fluffernutter, Ghost of Protocol, Gogula, Sarik, Jimbo, Jonah Waters, Josh Lindeen, Tesla, Justin Wallace, Kaden Carter. Sorry, I've said this list about 5 times as well, because every time I've led on from the cooking thing into this and fucked it up, and it's I'm going mad. I'm going completely mad. Caden Carter, thank you especially. Michael Mullen, Muskratful, Nat Buskus, 911, Nathan Flores, Necrophen, Pelvis Presley, Rodin, Richard Clark, Scott, Skaz, Somnus, Stannis the Manus, Shayak, The Forsaken One, T-Bag Cruz, Tom Taylor 18, Tyler Kendall, Vacuous Bacchus, and William Green. Thank you for your support at the insane tier levels on Patreon. Are we going to manage it? Is this going to be the take that goes into the video finally? And a thank you to Uswell, Asaro, Adam Person, Andrew Walsh, Andrew Wilson, Attila, Austin Taylor, Bordoon, Ben Trope, Betmans Max, Better Valerian, Black Double H, Chris, Corey CA, David Van Diepen, Don Connie 7, Easy to Pronounce Name, Exploding Knees, Fraser Brennan, Gabriel Van Ders, Gaz, Genji Zerka, Gompo Grey, Haji Dumar, Henrik Stensgaard, Icarus, Ice the Grey, Irish, Jay Lara, Jacob Wolfie, James Barnes, Jason Sushu, Jose, Yolanda Breeze, Jessica Smith, John Holiday, Jordan Campbell, Jesse Beer, Justin Plott, Justin Waters, Llewellyn Thomas, Luke Wallace, Mistolp, Monty, Nathaniel Lundberg, Nick, Noah Gallimore, Pan Samu, Panther Pearl, Payback 137, Peyton Denisar, Russian Oligarch Billionaire, Smirk1, Socrates, Super Nanny 089, The Bloody Knight, The Insane Pickle, Volonkery, Varagon, Voodoo Mumbo, Wesley Grayson, Will Wade, Wilson Atef, Wolfie Yorkers, and Zico2. Thank you for your support. See you guys all tomorrow for a fresh helping of Rimworld, where we're going to get annihilated by a whole group of tank zombies just because we rolled badly.